ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. 3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
Now a man whose father won 2 rings as a Bronco. It's Christian McCaffrey. And he's got some spin. There he goes, left side. He's at the 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Christian McCaffrey, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Raiders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. McManus's point after is good, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now a play fake. Carr out to his left. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Defense gets up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Carr. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. The Broncos at 5-7 now on the year. And they come into this one knowing it's been a while since they've had a W. They have dropped 4 in a row.
Let me tell you, when you go a month, partner, in this league, without a victory, it gets tough to come to work every day. And in addition, you start to wonder about your job security as well.
From just shy of midfield, Carr, Claypool with another catch. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Carr's throw there taken in by Smith. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go, and sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Now Carr again. He finds his man complete. It's Jacobs. And he'll be brought down at the 27. These two teams faced off earlier in the year, right around mid-season, back in Week 9. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. 2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. Now Carr. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds.
On the jump.
Gets it to Hill. It's a jet sweep. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Here's the Raiders punter now. The deep to return it is Marcus Jones. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Pulled in at the 24. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that worked. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the plague did on the last one.
Another try after the 1st down sack. Carr. And Waller taking it in over the middle. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork. A dime look defensively for the Raiders on 3rd down.
Yeah, you're right. 2 extra DBs out there. Throwing now is Carr. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football.
And, partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
One thing that offensive guys stress when they throw the deep ball, you're just counting on your receiver to find it, adjust before the defensive back can get his head around. In this case, though, the DB matched it move for move and knocked it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Smith brings it in, going across the middle. They find some open field here. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Meanwhile, Carr's throw complete here to Waller. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. 10-0 the score after 1. Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. Here's Carr. And this one complete to Smith. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 15-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Hey, 7:34.
Into the red zone. It's Carr. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. 90 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he's got room. There he goes, right side. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes our score 17-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he's going to get this one down to the 30.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Trap 60. 79 Broncos.
On 2nd and 9, Smith gets this one to Hill. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. They're coming to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Check contact. Check contact.
Play action. It's Smith. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Christian McCaffrey on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Raiders are able to add on to their first-half lead. McManus's point after is good. And the route is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. Shotgun now for Carr.
They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Carr's throw taken in here by Chase. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 29-yard line. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. Again, they'll throw with Carr. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
That one good for 13 and a Denver first down. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver.
Jamar Chase,
his 14th touchdown now on the year.
And the Broncos are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll make it 24-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And they interplay here in this one on a 2-game win streak, plus they come off the open week as well. So this is a team that has a lot of things working in their favor.
Oh, it certainly is, and let's face it, this team is playing so well. The worry now is that after a few extra days off, they'll be sluggish coming into this game. So I've heard that he spent more time in practice working what they call good versus good, starting offense versus starting defense. They want a fast start in this next game.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
On 2nd and 11 now. Smith. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. 27 yards there, a first down.
That is one heck of a catch right there. Got his eye on it the whole way and able to make the grab one-handed. Very nicely done, and for a nice chunk of yardage, too.
60.
From the red zone now, Smith. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. To throw again on 2nd down. Smith. That's Samuel, caught left side. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Come on. Hey.
Second down and goal. Smith. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Tyreek Hill in the final seconds of the first half. And the Raiders will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point from McManus is good. And the route is on here in this first half.
Broncos 7. Brandon McManus set to kick off.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. From just inside the 20, a short kick. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
At their own 27-yard line.
Help! 180! Raider 2!
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Carr going to throw. And he fires one incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete here.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down.
Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 44-yard line. 18 big yards on that one, and a Denver 1st. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 44-yard line. Play action. Now it's Carr. And now here is another interception.
Picked by Cameron Bynum. And the Raiders are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Well, I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team has struggled to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them, understood the play call, and stacked it up and stuffed the run.
On 2nd and 9, Smith. It's Hill, complete. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 39 yards there, a big one.
I think you can make a fair case for Tyreek Hill being the most explosive player in the NFL when he gets his hands on the football, and that was Exhibit A.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
Tyreek Hill's got another one.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Throwing now is Geno. This will be caught at about the 5.
And the Raiders are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Here's Smith. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Drew Sample from 3 yards out.
And the Raiders have opened the lead up to 30.
McManus's point after is good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this 2nd half.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco 1st down. From the gun, it's Carr. And that is incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Carr again. And my goodness, another interception. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right pass to the ball carrier.
Smith's throw caught by his receiver, Hill. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
It's a gain of 2 yards. And it's 3rd down.
Going to be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. That is caught by McCaffrey
For a Las Vegas touchdown.
A 14-yard touchdown.
And the Raiders take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in.
And now here is another interception. Picked up by Steven Nelson. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about 1 game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now it's Smith off the bootleg, sliding out of the pocket. And he wisely will throw that one away.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Go check.
Smith now to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, the only silver lining on the other sideline, CD, is that they kept him out of the end zone, but still, that's another 3 points added on to this large lead.
Yeah, no shortage of scoring or big plays on defense in this one. And even up by 4 possessions, still finding ways to create opportunities and capitalize with points.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And they're going to get this up to midfield.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
From midfield, here's Carr. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard, trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
Coming up on 2nd and 7.
Again, it's Carr.
Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a first down. To throw, it's Carr. Forced out to his left. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Carr will try it again on 2nd down.
Over the middle, that's caught by Claypool. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Touchdown, Broncos. Darren Waller from 17 yards out. And the Broncos get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point up and through by Myers as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
Come on.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They're looking at a 3rd straight win here if they can hold on. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Eric Wilson coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He sets to fire deep. He's got a man complete. The 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Drake London, an even 90 yards. And the Raiders are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. McManus's point after is good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
6-18.
Throwing now is Carr. Delivering another one here to Darren Waller. He's got it again. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Well, I kind of got to give him credit. Another incompletion there, yes, but he's still trying to make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's been hemmed in for much of the game. How about him getting outside there? And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He's not giving up on this game, so every other player in the field has to say to himself, I can't give up either.
Well, CD, that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit. Give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with what they've seen so far, have they? They're certainly hoping that that call now might get the fans back into this one.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Later one. Get down, get down.
Again, they'll throw with Carr. Got a man. It's Darren Waller. And the Broncos are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. Jacobs is into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. And CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here, but it may be cliche, but give them credit for this. They've continued to fight and scratch and claw, and they get the touchdown here in the 4th quarter.
And I'm okay with that cliche, all right? Maybe it'll alleviate the sting a little bit because at least they can look in the mirror and realize they fought all the way through. Horrible game for them, not one they'll want to remember, but at least they'll keep their heads up and have some pride when they leave the stadium.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled it to 15.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's second down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. 3rd and 7 now.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Geno now to throw. He is going to find Hill here. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That one good for 24 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
They'll try and burn some clock now with McCaffrey. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down. There for the tackle, Jacob Martin.
The 46-yard line. A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away.
Now a second down and 6.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Now Geno. And this is going to be incomplete.
But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Here we go with McCaffrey. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down.
4th and 2 in the NFL, not ordinarily a running down anymore. Usually that ball is moved through the air. They went ahead and gave it to the back, and he ends up picking up the first down. I'm not sure if they fooled him as much as they just did a nice job executing.
Needed 2, and they got 3.
So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10.
Trying to get to the outside. This is McCaffrey. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. And that's a loss of 7 on the first down play.
Those big ends don't really care what the play call is. Big pass, RPO, handoff, whatever. Their job, get behind the line of scrimmage every play and run down whoever has the ball. Mission accomplished there.
Now after the loss, he'll have to navigate a 2nd and 17. McCaffrey running up the middle. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield.
He was brought down at his 49-yard line. A 2-yard.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Las Vegas,
they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they will head home next week to take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for Denver, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Buffalo Bills.